Through a blessed bread roll, he was healed. Thanks to his intercession, Saint Rita of Cascia managed to enter the convent. Today's curiosities are about Saint Nicholas of Tolentino. Here are 10 facts about him. 10. Born of an intercession. Saint Nicholas of Tolentino, known as the protector of the souls in Purgatory, had his life marked from the very beginning by a miracle attributed to the intercession of another great saint, Saint Nicholas of Myra, also known as Saint Nicholas of Bari. His life began as a response to a fervent prayer made by his parents, who entrusted their hope to divine mercy and the intercession of the wonder-working saint. Nicholas was born in 1245 in the town of Sant'Angelo in Pontano, Italy. His parents, Compagninus and Amata, were a devout couple, elderly and childless, which deeply saddened them. Desperately longing for a child, they decided to make a pilgrimage to the tomb of Saint Nicholas of Myra, located in Bari, in the Puglia region of southern Italy. During their visit, they knelt before the saint's tomb, begging for his intercession so that God might grant them the grace of having a child. Moved by faith, they returned home, confident their prayers would be answered. The following year, Amata conceived, and the couple, in gratitude, named their son Nicholas in honor of the saint they believed had interceded for them. From a young age, Saint Nicholas of Tolentino showed signs of being special, with a strong inclination toward prayer, charity, and love for the poor. His parents, aware of the miracle that had brought him into the world, encouraged him to pursue a path of devotion, and he found his vocation upon joining the Augustinian order. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any curiosities about the saints. 9. A devout childhood. From a very young age, Saint Nicholas of Tolentino displayed traits that set him apart from other children of his time. While other children his age sought fun in common games, Nicholas preferred moments of solitude to meditate, read the scriptures, and dedicate himself to prayer. This early devotion was accompanied by a great love for those in need. Nicholas often invited the poor into his home, sharing with them the little he had. He felt extraordinary compassion for vulnerable people, something that impressed even the adults around him. His parents, noticing his inclination toward spiritual life, supported him in his pursuit of holiness. As a teenager, Nicholas began living with the Augustinians, adhering to the community's rules, even though he had not yet taken formal vows. Despite not being fully integrated into the order, he already demonstrated a deep zeal for practicing charity and obeying religious precepts. A transformative moment in his youth occurred when he heard a sermon from an Augustinian friar. The friar's words, which warned against attachment to worldly things, profoundly impacted Nicholas. Moved by this spiritual calling, he decided to officially join the Augustinian order, embracing the vocation that would define his entire life. 8. Priestly ordination. The priestly ordination of Saint Nicholas of Tolentino marked the culmination of his decision to fully dedicate himself to religious life. This pivotal moment occurred around 1269 to 1270 after a spiritual impact that transformed his journey. The inspiration came from a sermon that changed his perspective and solidified his vocation. The sermon, reflecting on the transience of worldly things, included the teaching, "Do not love the world or the things of the world too much. All that is of the world will pass." These words deeply resonated with Nicholas, who saw in them a divine call to fully embrace religious life. Inspired by this, he definitively joined the order of Saint Augustine, dedicating himself to deepening his faith and service. After years of preparation, Nicholas was ordained a priest, sealing his complete commitment to the service of God and the Church. As a priest, he became known for his humility, dedication, and profound knowledge of the Scriptures. His ordination was not only a personal moment of surrender but also the beginning of a lifelong mission that transformed the communities he served. The years following his ordination were dedicated to preaching and spiritual guidance. Nicholas became a living example of his teachings, leading a simple life filled with compassion for the poor, sick, and afflicted. Leave your prayer request in the comments so Saint Nicholas of Tolentino may intercede for it before God. 7. The Miracle of the Blessed Bread Rolls. One of the most significant episodes in the life of Saint Nicholas of Tolentino was the miracle of the Blessed Bread Rolls, which not only demonstrated his profound faith and devotion but also gave rise to a tradition that endures to this day. This miracle originated from a spiritual vision Nicholas experienced while gravely ill. During a period of great suffering, Nicholas was afflicted with a debilitating illness that brought him to the brink of death. During this time, he had an extraordinary vision of the Virgin Mary, accompanied by other saints, including Saint Augustine and Saint John the Baptist. In the vision, the Virgin Mary instructed Nicholas to take a blessed bread roll, given to him by a woman, and dip it in holy water before eating it. With faith, Nicholas followed the advice of the saints and did as instructed. To his surprise, immediately after consuming the blessed bread roll, he experienced a miraculous recovery. His illness vanished, and he regained his health in an inexplicable way. This miracle not only confirmed Nicholas's holiness but also initiated a new practice in his life, distributing blessed bread rolls to the sick. From that moment, Nicholas began giving blessed bread rolls to those suffering from illnesses, hoping they too would experience relief and healing. The tradition of Saint Nicholas's bread rolls spread throughout Tolentino, the city where he lived and carried out his mission. It was said that the blessed bread rolls brought both spiritual and physical comfort, serving as a sign of divine intervention in people's lives. Today, in Tolentino and other places, the tradition of distributing blessed bread rolls continues, especially on Saint Nicholas's feast day, September 10th. 6. Vegetarianism and the Miracle of the Partridges. Saint Nicholas of Tolentino is widely known for his life of prayer, charity, and penance. Among the most unique aspects of his life is his vegetarianism, a choice reflecting his deep devotion and commitment to simplicity and modesty, virtues he cultivated intensely. Nicholas abstained from animal products not only as an act of self-discipline but also as a way to align his life more closely with Christian principles of compassion and respect for God's creation. His vegetarian diet, combined with his dedication to prayer and charity, symbolized his detachment from worldly things and his total surrender to serving God. A fascinating episode related to his vegetarianism is the famous miracle of the partridges. According to tradition, on one occasion, Nicholas was served 2 roasted partridges, a dish that clearly did not align with his dietary practices. Upon realizing what had been offered, the saint made the sign of the cross over the plate. To the astonishment of everyone present, the partridges supernaturally began to move and flew out of the window, as if liberated from imminent death. 5. Contact with the souls in Purgatory. Saint Nicholas of Tolentino is widely recognized as a protector of the souls in Purgatory, an honor stemming from his profound compassion for those in spiritual suffering. He was particularly attuned to the needs of the souls who, according to Catholic doctrine, were undergoing purification before entering heaven. His role in this context is closely linked to extraordinary visions or dreams in which he interacted with these souls and received their requests for prayers. The connection between Saint Nicholas and the souls in Purgatory became evident through a peculiar episode in his life. During a moment of prayer and reflection, he had a vision of numerous souls being purified by the fires of Purgatory. These suffering souls pleaded for his prayers and for the celebration of Masses on their behalf, as a means of alleviating their pain and hastening their release. They implored him to intercede with God to ease their punishments and bring them closer to salvation. Moved by the depth of their suffering, Saint Nicholas immediately responded to their requests. He began celebrating Masses and fervently praying for these souls, offering his prayers as a way to help them attain eternal peace. This act of intercession and charity not only demonstrated his great devotion but also established him as a powerful intercessor for the souls in purification. He firmly believed that prayer and sacrifice could alleviate their suffering and help them reach eternal rest. In addition to his visions, Saint Nicholas was known for spending long hours hearing confessions, listening to people's sins, and offering spiritual solace. His attentive listening and intercessory prayers, combined with his life of prayer and penance, led many to see him as someone with a rare spiritual sensitivity. His fame as a protector of the souls in purgatory spread quickly, and many believed that his prayers had the power to ease the suffering of those transitioning to heaven. 4. Incorruptibility of the body. The life and death of Saint Nicholas of Tolentino are marked by numerous miracles that bear witness to his profound holiness and divine connection. One of the most extraordinary accounts of his posthumous life is the incorruptibility of his body, a clear sign of the sanctity and divine grace that accompanied him. 40 years after his death, Saint Nicholas's body was found in a perfectly preserved state, an extraordinary phenomenon that further solidified his fame as a great saint of the Church. Saint Nicholas passed away in 1305, and his tomb became a pilgrimage site due to his holiness and the miracles surrounding his life. However, it was only 4 decades after his death that a remarkable event occurred. When the monks opened his tomb for examination, they discovered that his body remained virtually intact, showing no signs of decomposition, an event considered a miracle in itself. Even more astounding was the phenomenon that occurred during the examination. Blood flowed from Saint Nicholas's arms, shocking those who witnessed the miracle. This blood was interpreted as a sign that the saint continued to intercede for the living, even after leaving this world. This miracle reinforced people's faith in his sanctity and greatly enhanced his reputation as a powerful intercessor. 3. Canonization. Saint Nicholas of Tolentino was canonized by Pope Eugene IV in 1446, an act that formalized his recognition as a saint and cemented his importance in Christian tradition. The canonization of Saint Nicholas was a significant event, occurring almost 150 years after his death in 1305. During this period, he had already become a figure of great respect and devotion, with many believing in the extraordinary power of his prayers and miracles to heal the sick, console the afflicted, and help the souls in purgatory achieve salvation. The feast of Saint Nicholas of Tolentino, celebrated on September 10th, became an important date in the liturgical calendar. 2. Tradition of miracles. The tradition of miracles attributed to him is closely tied to his divine intercession, particularly in matters of healing, relief from suffering, and spiritual aid, both for the living and for the souls in purgatory. One of the most notable aspects of Saint Nicholas's tradition of miracles is his association with healing diseases. Throughout his life, many accounts spoke of the power of his intercession to heal physical and spiritual illnesses. These healing miracles continued after his death, especially in the context of his veneration in Tolentino and other regions. It is common for the faithful to seek his intercession, asking for divine help in times of illness, and many testimonies recount inexplicable healings through his prayers and sacred objects associated with him, such as the blessed bread rolls. 1. Saint Nicholas of Tolentino and Saint Rita of Cascia. Saint Nicholas of Tolentino is widely known as one of the great intercessors for the souls in purgatory, but his story also intersects with that of Saint Rita of Cascia, one of the most venerated saints in the Catholic Church. A remarkable episode in Saint Rita's life directly involves the intervention of Saint Nicholas, along with Saint Augustine and Saint John the Baptist, in a miracle that changed the course of her life. Saint Rita, deeply desiring to join religious life, faced many obstacles in realizing this goal. After the death of her husband and 2 sons, she sought solace in God and decided to enter the Augustinian convent in Cascia. However, due to the troubled history of her family, the nuns at the convent refused her entry despite her persistence. Desolate, Saint Rita turned to fervent prayer, asking for heavenly assistance to overcome this barrier. Tradition holds that, during the night, an extraordinary miracle occurred. Saint Nicholas of Tolentino, Saint Augustine, and Saint John the Baptist appeared and guided Saint Rita to the convent. Despite the locked doors, the saints miraculously brought her inside, placing her safely among the nuns. The next morning, the nuns found Rita already inside the convent, praying. Surprised and moved by what had happened, they accepted her into the community, recognizing her entrance as a divine act. Thus, Saint Rita began her journey as a religious, later becoming known as the Saint of Impossible Causes. And so we come to the end of another story filled with fascinating details. Don't forget to share in the comments which saint you'd like to see featured on the channel next. See you in the next story.